Chairman said about this experience sharing of good practices. And under JNR, the Ministry of Urban Development has started a program called Peer Experience and Reflect to Learn. And a lot of good practices have been documented and shared about this. I think as far as smart cities are concerned, we should look at it as overall part of the overall urban strategy, which is making cities sustainable, inclusive, and obviously smart. And unless we improve our urban infrastructure and urban governance, and putting that both together, we cannot improve our economic situation. Because GDP is growing in urban areas. That old saying which we heard, that India lives in rural areas, is no more true. And all these ICT techniques will help us to improve our urban infrastructure and urban thing. But one of the main things, I also studied like the British studied. We had a land use plan where we had separate industries, separate residential, settlers, commercial. That concept has to go. We have to integrate and have mixed land use and integrate it with public transport. When I studied planning, the person who taught me public transport and land use planning never talked to each other. I think that, and we have to increase our floor space index and density. I think the more we want to improve our infrastructure, we have to think of a higher density, higher FSI, floor space index, and link it with public transport. And that is extremely important. And when we're talking about, Gift City is a very good example. This is something which opens our eyes. But there is also a need to look at our present cities, how we could do retrofitting in those cities. And all this, various tools we talk about, linked with cloud sourcing and things like that, would help in some of the suggestions which was made, particularly with the Bhopal Municipal Corporation, is going into that, how we can use our different technologies to improve delivery of services. And similarly, it's not limited just to the city or land use or floor space. Even buildings are to become green. I think a lot of energy could be saved the way we orient our buildings. Whatever we say, traditionally we knew how to orient our buildings. Unfortunately, in this modern world and use of air conditioning and the glass, we have forgotten. Very simple techniques we can use. Energy consumption building that needs to be peak cost. And we're talking about smart cities, but basically we have learned a lot in what is called as JNR, phase 1 as well as phase 2. I think we should learn from that, particularly look at the various reforms. Even simple thing like title of our title, tenure, property things, e-governance, all that needs to be linked up with smart city. So I think smart city which is being proposed by the government is a step forward of JNR, and that is how it should be looked at, rather than something which is completely new. And it is linked to innovations. I was also supposed to speak something on PPP. Can PPP help in making greener cities, smarter cities? I think extremely important for PPPs, which we don't understand. If you can identify a beneficiary and he is willing to pay, that is basically we are talking about revenue model, business model. Unless we have a clear-cut business model, which does not be for whole of infrastructure. It could be just for operation and maintenance. If we can start with that, then PPP could happen in an incremental manner, rather than thinking somebody will come, take up our cities and improve water supply, and we will not even know where the pipes are. That is not going to happen. And finally, being a teacher who is talking of capacity building, I think we have lack of capacity on all levels in urban sector. Somebody mentioned he doesn't get enough response to his tenders when you throw tenders for this. But I am telling you, in urban sector, national level, state level, local level, all do not have people. And even private sector doesn't have people. A lot of consultants who come to me as consultants actually are my young teachers who are just passed, young students who are just passed out. मैं उनको बोलता हूँ इनको मैं पैसे क्यों दूँ, उनसे तो मुझे पैसे लेने चाहिए कि मैं इनको सिखा रहा हूँ. That is the situation. On a very lighter side, I think you are teaching. The whole community is learning, and I think it's extremely important for this workshop like this help. Or even this 7 or 8 presentation have tell me something which is new is happening in the urban sector, and I think I welcome this initiative by Ravi. Thank you.